We got some practice video up and that you may want to look at. And this here is, we work our quarterbacks with specific fundamentals of their footwork if you're going to throw RPOs. Now, the problem is a lot of the quarterback guru guys that these kids go to teach it improperly. So if you are going to take footwork that they're going to tell you to do, you're going to have a tough time throwing these RPOs because the ball has to be out. It's got to be out quick. You cannot drop back or take a drop step. This ball is going to be out as fast. It's catch and throw. It's almost without laces. You know, he can get the laces, he might not get the laces. But if the ball doesn't come out and you get edge pressure, he's going to be on the ground, you're going to have a fumble. Some of my system guys have had that happen to them because they're taking drop steps instead of the steps that the way we take when we throw an RPO. So when we throw an RPO, we're going to throw an RPO to the right and we're going to throw an RPO to the left. So you have to drill it. So if we're throwing an RPO to this fellow's right, and this is the first, and just to let you know, I went back to my old school Harrison, which I have a good relationship with those guys, and they're putting the offense in. This is the first time I've ever worked with this guy. So this isn't my quarterback, but we're going to work with him. We went over the drills a little bit, and now we're going to, and he picked it up real quick. All right, so if we're going to go to the right, we're going to rapid fire. We're going to catch it, and if we're going to the right, we're going to have to pivot and turn. So what it's got to look like here is, when we pivot and turn, all right, it's got to be like a quarter eagle throw. So if he's going to throw it out there, he's got to get his shoulders turned. So most guys will drop, step, go, and throw. And if you have an edge pressure off the edge, you're going to get sacked, and that ball is going to be on the ground. So we just quarter eagle it. So we want to make sure we catch it, we get it turned. So I want my foot, if I'm throwing to the right, I would want my left foot pointing at the target with my right shoulder pointing at, my left shoulder pointing at the target. So I'm squared up and I get the ball out as quick as possible. So here you're going to be able to see him pivot and throw. And then we just want to rapid fire it, because what he's got to do is we want to get that thing thrown so he can get the laces and he can turn it and get it out quick. So that's just one way we're going to do it when we're throwing in that direction. Okay, now here's another guy we're working with. He's doing the same thing. We got to get that turn pivoted and thrown. Okay, now if we're going to go the other way, here you're going to see we're going to just shuffle and push off. I want that really harder. What we like to tell them when we're throwing to the left is I want to catch it. I would like them to take this foot and take this right foot and put that toe right at the heel. And I want them to push the toe into the ground. Because if you go, a lot of guys will just step and put their arch of their foot to the target and push off with their whole foot. I think if you talk to your kids and ask them, my guys always like, if you get the toe in there, is much more power than if you just get the whole foot on the ground. But you know, either way, it's fine. A lot of times they're just trying to get it out there. But you got to catch it, get it on the ground, and throw it. And you want that thing out there as fast and as quick as possible. All right? We'd like him to even drive that foot way harder into the ground. Of course, this is the first time he's done it. So that's what that's going to look like. So when we're going to throw the RPO, that's the quarterback fundamentals that we want to use. Next thing we're going to talk about is basically how our footwork for our bubble technique. All right, now we've done it a lot of different ways. We've talked to a lot of different people about how they run the bubble. And I'm just going to explain to you what people do and then what we do and how we came to this point. All right, a lot of people, I know at Auburn, they just crossover run out there. And when we crossover run, if the ball was thrown kind of behind us, it was really hard to catch. And we got no yards, we got no push, whatever. So what we went to is a karaoke, because when we karaoke'd, first of all, the kids all know how to do it. And second of all, your shoulders are square. A lot of other guys will backpedal out. When you backpedal out, you can't get width. Remember, when we bubble technique, when we run our bubble, we want to push the sideline. Some people don't do that. They're always cutting it up. We want to get to the outside edge. Our blocker is going to block the outside shoulder, and we're going to push the outside all the time. Outside, 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 until the last minute we'll cut back in. That has worked good for us. The back, some people like, I know Mazzoni, they go 45 degrees and then backpedal out. All right, now the reason that they do that is they want to drive the half player back. But I'm telling you right now, when we do that, we don't get enough width. And I try to run the reason, since we've gone to this, last year, we threw for 1,700 yards off called runs, off just doing quick screen and bubble. So this has really worked well for us. You know, whatever way you want to do it's fine, but this is what has been best for us as a team and as a program. Okay, I'm over at Harrison High School where I used to work, and those guys are putting in my whole offense, and this is the first day I've ever worked with these guys. So you're going to see some good, some bad, and all that. So first of all, there's the karaoke. That's pretty good. We want to get that outside edge, and when they karaoke, okay, you can see how their shoulders are square. So if the ball was thrown back here, all right, he could get it caught pretty well, and we can get it up the field. All right, and now there's a crossover run. That we don't want. All right, see that right here? This is definitely not what we want. This is what Auburn does, and I don't like it. It didn't work good for us because when they do that, all right, they're not looking. If that ball is thrown back there, he drops it. So we want it to be karaoke'd. And we don't want, there's another crossover run. We don't want that, all right? So if I go back, this guy does it pretty good where he's karaokeing like that, and that's what's worked best for us. Now it's hard, and you have to work it a lot, and these guys are going to have to work a little more on it, but that's how we work it. Okay, now, next thing we're going to do is we're getting over here to the wide receiver, and we're going to run that quick screen, and what we do when we run this wide out, we're running it rapid fire so they're not up there quick enough. We had to slow it down a bit. Is we're going to take one jab step and then come back and catch it, get up the field, and we just want to drive them straight back. So that's pretty good right there. So that's how we're going to work our quick screen drill. Now, here, when we're going to block for the wide receiver, we want to make sure that he runs flat down the line and replaces his feet and gets a two-way go. If you run him angularly like this, you always have to kick him out and it will not work well for you. So that's pretty good. See him sit right here? And we're going to fight to block the outside shoulder, just like that. That was pretty good, except for the guy not catching the ball. Here we go, another one. We're going to run flat down the line of scrimmage, get him up the field, get on his outside shoulder, and we're going to push the outside. That's pretty good. That's how we want to do it. Okay, here's another one where we're going to block the outside shoulder and with the bubble screen. So we're going to karaoke, and we're going to kind of go over how we want to block that outside edge in a second. So when we go back, let me go back here real quick. We're going to drive down the field, and we're going to stop when he comes up. And we want to sit down and stop, and I'm going to go through our progression about how we do that. So let me try to do that real quick right now. Okay, so when we're working with these wide out, we want to just get we're going to get our thumbs up. We're going to get our thumbs up, and we want to drive it into his inside edge, okay? So we're going to get our thumbs up. We're going to drive it right up underneath their armpits, and we're going to try to get that thing, we're going to try to fit, and we're going to try to attack the outside shoulder. So the first thing that we do when we're working this is we're just going to get them down as many as we can. We're going to walk them up, and I'm just going to go hit, 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 and I just want them up in that inside shoulder. So we're going to just work that real hard arm action, just like it was a D lineman trying to get up underneath his armpits, okay, for that stock block, okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to fit him in there right in. So we're going to fit him in, and when we fit, we want to duck walk, just like an offensive lineman. So once they're fit, we want to duck that outside shoulder and just drive him straight back. We're working the outside shoulder, but I want him driven back. I don't want him to turn him or whatever. I just want him to drive back, straight back. So that's what we're going to try to do. So we're going to ride up, and I want him ducked, and I want him to drive it back. So we fit him in there, and I say I want you to fit and drive. So the progression of our wideouts is sit, fit, and drive. So here we're going to try to just drive and trying to get on the outside shoulder, so we're going to just kind of work that technique right there. Now, when we come off the line of scrimmage with the wide receiver or the blocker, he is going to come off, and we want to sit down before we make contact, all right? And when we come off the line of scrimmage, we don't run off the line of scrimmage. We want to actually almost walk off the line of scrimmage. If you run off, you're gonna whiff on this block every time. And this is the problem we had the year before, is we come off the ball too quick. So we want this guy to come off the ball like this, sit down, fit, and work that outside shoulder. That's pretty good right there. That's the speed that we want him to come off. So we got these guys out. They got their inside foot out. We're going to come up. We're going to sit down. We're going to walk up, see him get set, and we're going to drive that thing. So that's how we're going to work it. So that's pretty good right there. Okay? So basically, that's how we're going to block the play.